Hey everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Trijicon RMR. This is the RM02 with the 6.5 MOA red dot. This is the auto-adjusting version. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, when it comes to looking for a Trijicon RMR, it can be a little bit overwhelming because there are so many different types, so many different model numbers, and so many different variations within each model number that, I mean, yeah, it can be like a kid in a candy store where you're looking at all these different RMRs and it's a lot of fun, but you want to make sure you get the right one for you. And, you know, I mean, there's different things like looking for the dot size. There's large 6.5 MOA dots, small, more fine dots. You can buy them with a Picatinny rail. You can buy them without. There are some that are auto-adjusting, manual adjusting, some that don't even require a battery because they run off fiber optics, so forth. And so, you know, it gets a little bit confusing. So it's best what you do is you actually just kind of narrow it down into 3 specific groups. And if you take a look at those 3 groups and you pick the group that works best for you, you've narrowed it down to a specific set. And now all you need to do is just kind of pick your dot size and pick whether or not you want a different color or a different rail. So those 3 are actually in the instruction manual, and it kind of breaks it down for you. So you have the LED RMR, which is a version that is only auto-adjusting. You have the adjustable LED RMR, which is also auto-adjusting and manual adjusting, so you can switch between both. And you have the dual illumination RMR. That's the one that uses either the battery or the fiber optic that's located on the outer housing of the optic itself. So if you look at those 3 models, figure out whether or not you want something that's manual adjusting, auto adjusting, or dual illuminated, then you can kind of narrow in. And that's why I decided to go with this Type 2 right here. That is the LED version. This is only auto adjusting. There's no manual settings at all. And I wanted this specifically for carry. I didn't want to have to worry about any buttons, anything getting pressed where it might make the dot too bright or make the dot too fine. I wanted something that was set exactly right, straight from the factory, where if I pull it out of the holster in a specific condition, outside or inside, the dot's going to be just right. So I kind of looked at that and said, this is what I want for this purpose. This one right here is the adjustable model, meaning that I can use this one right here for either manual or auto adjusting, and that's perfect for what I wanted this one for. So different models, different versions. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Type 2, the LED version. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a closer look specifically at the Trijicon RMR Type 2, the auto adjust version only. So there are no manual adjust buttons on this whatsoever. The only thing that's manually adjustable is the windage and elevation. So you have your elevation on top, which is the same as every other Trijicon RMR, and you have your windage on the side. Now, these are easy to use. They are capless, so all you have to do is take a bullet casing, take a small coin. You can put a little screwdriver in there and make your adjustments, but they do have some good tension on them so that they're not going to move accidentally. So your zero is going to stay zeroed, and they are really nice and almost slightly recessed into the housing of the optic itself. So you're not going to have to worry about anything moving when you don't want it to move. Okay, so no buttons on there. The only thing that's manual is, again, the windage and elevation. So it's a very simple optic. There's really not that much to say about it. It uses one single CR2032 battery. It has a 6.5 MOA dot. The dot gets extremely bright and gets extremely dim. Now, one of the worries that I had, and I'm sure a lot of other people have when it comes to auto-adjusting optics, is does it get it right? And when you're out in the sun, is it bright enough? When you're in the dark, is it dim enough? And when you're in a kind of dual lighting setting, does it work when you're inside looking out? Does it work when you're outside looking in, and so forth? And I gotta say that this actually kind of surprised me quite a bit, because I've had auto-adjusting optics in the past. Some of my Holosuns are auto-adjusting optics, but they don't work as well as this. The settings on this are perfect. So right now I'm in a setting where I have a large window on the other side of the camera. So in front of me, a lot of the lighting that you guys are seeing being brought in is from the outside. So it's kind of darker in here, even though it might not seem like that on camera. But as I look right here and I point it outside where it's very bright right now, I'm still getting a perfect red dot. That perfect red dot is easy to pick up, even though what I'm looking at is all desert and it's tan, and obviously tan and red, they're kind of hard to distinguish when you see them against each other, but it still gives me enough of a red dot where I pick it up, I put it in front of my face, and sure enough, I can find that red dot every single time, no problem. It gets really bright when you're out in the sun, but not so bright that it feels like it's going to burn your retina. And at the same time, when you go inside, it adjusts extremely fast to whatever lighting condition that you're in. So it goes through multiple settings, not just 1, 2, or 3 different settings in order to get that dot brightness just right. So if I'm in my house, I'm carrying during the day, I pull it out, look at it, the dot's just the right brightness. And then when you turn all the lights off at night, maybe you sit this next to your bed, whatever the case is, it gives you a perfect brightness setting for that night. What's interesting is I have night sights on here. I put these Trijicon HD night sights on. These are suppressor height sights so that they can co-witness with this red dot. And the dot is actually the same brightness as my night sights. Now, some people might kind of think that that would kind of get in the way. There's so many different dots, but I just look for the red one. As soon as I find the red one, I know I'm on target. I don't even pay attention to the green ones. But if for some reason I can't see the dot, I do still have the Tritium night sights for backup. So currently I have the Trijicon RMR Type 2 sitting on top of my Glock 19. This Glock 19 has a complete Shadow Systems upper. So I have an Optics Planet exclusive Shadow Systems Glock 19 combat slide on here. We have a Shadow Systems barrel, Shadow System internal components, striker, extractor, plungers, etc. All Shadow Systems with an Apex trigger, and I gotta tell you, this is one of the best performing pistols that I have, period. It shoots so nice. Now, all this stuff is from Optics Planet. They do give me a discount code that I can share with you guys, which is TDS5, and I'll put more information in the comments section. So check the comment section if you want more information on this stuff. This one right here, for those people that want something a little bit more flashy, actually came from Alpha Shooting Sports, but they also sell this at Optics Planet. So if you wanted to get this for a discount, you could actually go over there and get the Alpha Shooting Sports one for a discount as well. So again, I'll put all the information in the description box, or not in the description because we're not allowed to do that, but check the comment section, we can put more information there. Now, I made a video about maybe a little bit over a year ago where I was talking about red dots on pistols, and in that video I said that I thought red dots were going to be the way of the future. I thought you were going to basically see red dots on pistols just as commonly as you would see a red dot on a rifle. And I got a lot of hate in that video. There was people who were saying I was crazy, that's stupid, red dots don't belong on pistols, and so forth. And I just thought it was funny at some people's reactions. I mean, the comments were definitely worth reading. And here we are a little bit later than a year, and red dots are definitely more common on pistols. And I think more people are kind of coming around to the thought and the concept of having a red dot on a pistol. And there's several different reasons why. Well, one of the biggest reasons is accuracy. Now, I actually have changed my mind over time about the actual speed that you would get off a red dot. While I felt that I was shooting faster with a red dot, I gotta say that I don't think that that's the case. I think I shoot pretty much the same speed between both iron sights and a red dot. I don't find myself really getting an advantage anymore between the two, especially now that I've had practice. I don't see that there's an advantage there, but there's definitely an advantage for me as far as accuracy goes, because you take out so many variables when you use a red dot. One variable that you take out is sight radius. If you have a red dot on a pistol, whether it be a Glock 19 or a Glock 34, sight radius is no longer an issue because you're looking at one single aiming point. So the red dot that's on your rifle that has a 16-inch barrel, a 15-inch handguard, and your sight radius is like this, is going to be the exact same on your pistol because you're both looking at one single aiming point. So sight radius is completely wiped out. Now also you have the rear sight. So windage on your rear sight. There is a certain amount of light that passes through each side of your front sight post. When you're looking through, you have that little sliver of light that shines through the left and right, and you got to make sure that your sight is dead center. Well, you don't have to worry about that with this either. All you have to do is put the red dot on your target, and you're good to go. There is a little bit of parallax if you're talking about shooting within a specific distance, but it's so slight that you're gonna hit where you wanna hit as long as that little red dot is on the target. So you don't have to worry about kind of holding on your windage or your elevation, making sure that the front sight post isn't too high or too low. You don't have to worry about any of that. Put that red dot on your sight and you shoot. You'll see that you get more accurate shots when you're using a red dot. So again, sight radius doesn't matter. And again, your windage and elevation as you hold it, doesn't matter either. So you do get a lot of benefits from a red dot versus iron sights. And I know that there's people who've been shooting iron sights for hundreds of years, and that's fine, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider something that is kind of moved on. You can't just be stuck. You got to kind of go with technology and see if it can bring you to a better place. Now, I did say I was going to do a quick comparison, and there's really not all that much to compare because these are like comparing apples to apples here. But this one right here simply has the manual adjustments on it. You have a plus sign and a negative sign, and makes it brighter or dimmer, or I can switch this to auto mode and I can have it adjust itself. I've never used it because I've always used the manual mode, but that's what you get here. Here's auto, here's manual and auto. Both have 6.5 MOA dot, both have the same clarity, both are just as rugged, same windage and elevation, both have the same patterns for your screws and everything else. The only difference again is how you adjust the brightness. Now, personally, I've never actually used the other version that has the strip of fiber optic on top. That one actually collects sun or collects light that is around you, any ambient light that's around you, and then puts that on the glass so that you can actually see a dot even in very low ambient light. So I've never used one of those. I can only speak to these two, but I know that a lot of people do like those other ones. They get very bright in the sun. So these two right here are definitely worth looking at. Again, I'll put more information in the comment section. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.